And here is another video on TikTok where someone is trying to explain to us why debt just does not exist. Let's check it out.
Hey, just a reminder that your debt doesn't exist. It was fabricated out of nothing.
Okay, off the bat, when people just say stuff like that, it goes just fabricated off of nothing. Debt don't exist. Mess around and don't pay your mortgage. Mess around and don't pay your car loan. Let's see how much your car would exist once they repo it. Let's see how much your house would exist when they foreclose it. Debt is debt. Stop this constant nonsense of trying to tell people that debt just doesn't exist. Okay, I will tell you this. There is no jail for people on debt. That I agree with. You're not going to go to jail, right, if you don't pay your debt back. I get it. But there is consequences for it. So stop acting like it doesn't exist. There's a consequence when you do not pay your debt.
And therefore, any contract that was secured with that debt can't be enforced. And if you don't believe me, just call up whoever made your loans to you, your mortgage company, your car loan, your student loan, your credit card, and ask them, hey, when you lent me this money, did you lend it from existing reserves, existing capital, or did you fabricate it out of nothing? And if they fabricated it out of nothing, it means they didn't provide you proper consideration. It means the contract can't be enforced in court. It means you can default on their loans and they can't enforce anything against you. It's just basic common law.
Oh, it's basic common law to just, oh man, I'm telling you, everyone becomes a lawyer when they this in financial stress and they're in debt and they have no way out. They just all of a sudden become this lawyer. Like, can you imagine, like, you're in so much debt, right? And first of all, this is the part that bothers me, okay? A bank, all right, is lending you money for whatever it is that you need, okay? Whatever it is you need. You go, you use that money. They borrow it, they let you borrow the money. Now it's time to pay it back. Now you're gonna say, hey, the money you borrowed, I don't need to pay it back. Let me ask you a question. Like, who's gonna call customer service and say, let me ask you a question. This money that you let me use, is it behind a secure debt? Is it like all these like legal lawyer questions? And then you think like the customer service and they say, no, like, aha, you see? Well, I don't need to pay back. Bye, you hang up. No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. You will get foreclosed. You will get a repo. You could get your wages garnished. Don't mess around with your debt, okay? If you cannot pay your debt, you can't pay your debt. It will go into collections. Hopefully they don't come back and try to sue you. If they don't, it will drop. I get it, but your life will be miserable. You want as much as possible to try to pay your debts on time. And if you can't, I get it, you can't. But do not say, I had the money for it, but you know what? You let me borrow it when you weren't supposed to. So now I'm not going to pay it back. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This guy must have no friends. No friends at all. Can you imagine one of his friends like, oh, you know, he asked one of his friends, hey, can I borrow $100? Like, yeah, sure, here, boom. When are you paying back? 2 weeks. Okay, cool. 2 weeks comes around. Hey, by the way, can you give me $200 back? I mean, you didn't put no collateral, right? Like, there's no collateral behind it, so I don't owe you anything, right? I mean, why do I owe you? What, you can't sue me? What are you going to... Listen, don't be an a-hole, okay? Be responsible. Have ethics. If you walk around with that type of mentality, trying to screw people over, you're not going to get anywhere in life. Eventually, you're going to go to some person or some company that's going to turn around and set an example on you. And you do not want that to be the case.
So, you call them up if you want to, but what I would recommend is taking these banks to task, running up your credit as much as you can, get as many credit cards as you can.
So now that he knows, right, that technically debt don't exist, he's telling you to go ahead and get debt, to rack up debt. Oh, but debt don't exist. But get debt. All this craziness going on with just trying to just think you're smarter than the system is always gonna get you in trouble, man. Let's see what else he's saying.
And buy gold and silver. And if you need to, if you're in a pinch and you need to go convert that to dollars for a little bit of time to go buy groceries or buy gas or whatever, you can. But if you hold on to gold and silver and the other things that you need to prepare, like food and water and energy or whatever, but make sure you get some gold and silver. If you hold on to it, the calculations that I've done based on the $315 trillion in global debt and the $4 quadrillion in derivatives is you'll be able to feed a family of four, assuming a $300 a week grocery budget, give or take, it's just a benchmark. Assuming that, you'll be able to feed a family of four on 0.34 ounces of silver a year. That's $10.
Ooh.
So go do what you got to do. But no, your debt's not real. You got to know that.
Okay, so he knows from experience. He tried this and it worked out. So he's giving everyone advice. This is what you should do. No. As you notice, no. This is all made up. This is all made up. This is all a theory. He is not feeding his family now on silver and gold. He's saying one day, when he's assuming that the economy is going to collapse, and everything's going to collapse, and you have silver and gold, and now you'll be able to survive. The economy collapses. Now you'll be able to buy stuff, even though the economy is destroyed. You gonna go to this Publix like a regular Joe, like, hey, look, here's pieces of silver. What? Like, what? Like, what are we talking about here? Listen, if the economy crashes, we'll be in trouble, extreme trouble. Holding on to gold and silver isn't doing you no good. You're gonna get robbed. You're gonna get robbed. If you're walking around, you have gold and silver, it's gonna be an anarchy out here. People are gonna go out and just going insane and berserk. We know that. People are gonna go insane if there's some type of situation where, the economy crashes and we have to use gold and silver. Anyone out there, please do not listen to this. If you have debt, I know it sucks, but do not abandon it. You will make your situation even worse. Even worse. The only time you would say, you know what, I can't pay it, is if you cannot pay your rent or your mortgage, you don't have enough money to eat. You need to take care of your four walls. And if you take care of your four walls, you have no money left at all, when you cannot pay your debt, then I understand you have no choice. You really got no money, you debt broke, that's okay, don't pay it. But don't have money and say, I'm not gonna pay these people back, I'm gonna run up all this debt, as he said, and then just abandon that. But then you have money though to buy gold and silver for some type of future, anarchy type situation. Nah, man, that's just like, don't do that. Just do not listen to advice like this. It's not tried and it's not tested. He's just making stuff up that sounds smart, but it's not smart. And if you mess around, you're going to find out. You're going to find out quickly what happens when you don't pay your debt.